Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you have ever had a child who struggles with math, then you know exactly how discouraging it can feel for them and for you. No matter how many curriculum you try, it feels like nothing sticks. And honestly, it's terrible. I've had a few kids who've struggled with math. That frustration can last for years if you don't find the right fit. And maybe you can relate. Sometimes you're buying curriculum after curriculum, you're paging through the Facebook groups, asking for solutions, and still nothing works. I know this firsthand. My first daughter repeated Algebra 1 3 times with 3 different programs. My second daughter could not grasp math concepts. We tried textbooks, online programs. We even sent her to a private school just for math while she was a homeschooler, and still she couldn't understand. It became kind of a family project to help our daughter get math. Finally, we sent her to a school with a teacher that would break down the math concepts into tiny, tiny incremental steps, and it clicked. She went from getting F's and D's in her math assignments all the way up to getting straight A's by the time she graduated. It was a massive transformation, and now she's going into special education to help other students who struggled so much with learning as well. So that experience opened my eyes. Some kids need math broken down into much smaller steps than most curriculum offer. And honestly, my family isn't really any different than anybody else's. So when I discovered Jump Math that helps kids who need it broken down further than most curriculum, I knew I had to check it out. I had to check and see if it actually did what they promised. So, this is Jump Math. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It was all new to me, which is amazing after 18 years of homeschooling. And I tried it out with my daughter doing their second grade curriculum and with my son doing their fourth grade curriculum. So here's the student workbook, and here is the teacher manual. I'm going to tell you all about it, but I wanted to show you the curriculum first. I can't really hold both of them up while I'm talking. So, Jump Math was founded in 2002, so over 20 years ago, by Dr. John Mighton, who, believe it or not, nearly failed calculus himself. And later, as he was tutoring some kids who thought they weren't math people and couldn't succeed, he realized that they actually could learn if the math concepts were broken down further than normal. And that's the foundation of Jump Math that creates confidence, resilience, and incremental learning. So you might be asking, what makes Jump Math special? What makes it different? After all, every math curriculum says that it works for every child. It's just the nature of it. So, what makes this one unique? And I think my son Bob's description is helpful because when you see it through the eyes of a child, it's kind of fun to hear their perception. So, we were doing jump math, and I asked Bob what he thought of it. And in true 10-year-old fashion, he was like, I like it, but he couldn't really tell me why at first, and I kind of probed a little further, and he's like, "It's like God Squad. I feel like I'm going on an adventure to look for answers like they do on the show." And I laughed because he was literally looking at a black and white worksheet that was not colorful, it was not fun, it's not adventurous. And he was describing the math he was doing as going on an adventure. And honestly, he was right. The problems, they don't overwhelm with abstract symbols, even the pluses and minuses. There's not a lot of normal math symbols. Instead, the way the math is presented on the worksheet is often without that. It's often using graphics that help the kids kind of fill in what's missing with their mind. So they're kind of discovering the math step by step. And I'll be sure to show you that in just one second. So, Before I jump in and show you a sample lesson, I thought it might be helpful to show you the table of contents to show you how inside one textbook, this is level 4 that my son was doing, every core idea or core concept is broken down into a bunch of smaller steps. So here you can see that the lesson is teaching operations and algebraic thinking patterns, but it's broken down into about 12 different steps. And you move on to the next one. And again, there's like 22 lessons to teach the idea of base 10, place value in addition and subtraction. So every main idea is broken down into tiny little incremental steps. I like that. And I want to show you something, one of the lessons for long division, which I think kind of illustrates the way this curriculum is different compared to another one. So you're familiar with long division. Most of us kind of dreaded it in 4th grade because now we were going to have to do hard math. And here you can see that to teach long division, not only do they teach it the normal way, right here, they use graphics. So we've got the tens and ones. And then they start using even some almost graphic organizer isn't quite the right word, but they use extra graphics to help the kids keep the numbers lined up on their math problems. And this is kind of across the curriculum. They use extra graphics to help the kids visualize where their numbers go. So you can see it right here. All the tens column, they're all going to stay lined up because we have this extra rectangle around the numbers, which I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, that was always a problem. So this curriculum just has extra supports inside it that make it make sense for kids who might have struggle with visualizing the way the numbers go together. They might not understand what tens or ones mean. So they put these actual graphics on each page if it's necessary. Jump Math uses a research backed method called structured inquiry, as in the concepts that are being taught in math are introduced in small, scaffolded steps, very incrementally. And the parents, when you, as the parent, are guiding your student to learn this math, you are guiding them to kind of discover it. It's not so much about you teaching as quickly as possible. You want them to have those aha moments along the way, which is why this curriculum is designed to teach things kind of like in bite-sized chunks. So kids are discovering things instead of just learning formulas. And kids master a concept before moving on, which is helpful because you can't build on learning that has not become part of a student's working memory, right? If a student has a solid working memory of their times tables, they can build on that and learn harder multiplication. But if they don't have a working memory of that, then they're going to continue to struggle. That's just one example. So, Jump Math has multiple strategies for helping students work on mastering concepts before moving on. This leads to less math anxiety and it also builds confidence. So, what do you actually get when you get the Jump Math curriculum? Well, as I showed you early on, you get this is one of the student workbooks. Each level has two student workbooks, so a 4.1 and a 4.2. And it also has two teacher's manuals. So this is 4.1 and 4.2. And honestly, it's a lot. There's a lot here. And I wasn't sure because it's so different than what I normally use if it would be something that I could work with. And I wish I had the like digital images to show you because it's easier to show. But I'm going to tell you a little bit what you can expect inside each of these lessons because I think it makes a lot of sense, especially when you have a kid that struggles with math. If you're the mom who has done everything she can do, you have tried everything, nothing is working, or maybe you need a tutor and the tutor needs something really consistent. Or honestly, maybe you have grandma who's helping your child learn math and grandma learned math a really long time ago. Could be any number of those scenarios where you need something kind of scripted. The teacher's manual for jump math is scripted. It tells you step by step what you need to do. So inside the teacher's manual, each lesson begins with a goal. And then it tells you what prior knowledge they need to have. So there are specific concepts that build on each other. So it's going to remind you what learning they need to have actually done in order to move on to this lesson. Then it's going to tell you any materials like visual aids, like coins or counting blocks or anything else that would be especially helpful to help reinforce this. Most of this is like household stuff that you could swap in to use as a visual aid. Then it is going to give you a scripted way to teach the math concept that you can use with just a little whiteboard. Get out your dry erase marker, and it gives you the math problem to write on the board and a script to describe the problem that is being solved. Then you're going to have a conversation with your child. You're going to ask them a question, and they're going to answer, and you're going to go back and forth. All of this is in the script. So you don't have to know how to teach math. You don't have to be a mathematician or have gone to school to be a teacher. All of this is completely scripted. Then there's an activity that you can play with your child. Then there are some exercises. And of course, there are the student workbook pages. One thing I really like is if you have a child that's struggling, they actually have extra worksheets in the teacher's manual that you can reference. And if when you're initially teaching the concept to your child, they already know it because you're sitting there talking to them, you're having them solve the problem. If they already know it, you can have them do a few of the student problems in the workbook. But once you're sure they know it, you can have them just skip and move on. So jump math is great for parents who are trying to fill in the gaps in their kids' math education, or if they have a child that they're trying to accelerate, move ahead, who needs a little extra help, you're going to know which lessons you can skip and which ones need extra reinforcement. Either way, the extra resources are here in the teacher's manual, which I think is really helpful. So the books are big, okay, but the books are big, but they are also full of very direct instruction for you as the parent. So that's very different. And if you're looking for something that you can teach from home to your kids, that is a great way to kind of navigate kids who are struggling in math, or if the parent doesn't have a solid math foundation. This is a great way. Okay, so I've shown you a little bit of what the lessons look like. We've talked about what's in the teacher's manual. It's not so easy to show because it's so big. However, I have not shown you the website. So here we are on the Jump Math website, and there's a lot going on here because their resources are used in schools and also parents use them for homeschooling. So I want to give you a quick tour here of something I don't want you to miss and a place I want you to go, which I will drop the link below for their resource center. Okay, here we are on the Jump Math Parents tab, which is where you should go. And I will drop the link for this below because this is a great resource for showing you all the ways Jump Math can benefit your family as a homeschool family. The other tabs are designed for teachers. They show you the research behind Jump Math, which is amazing. But here you can scroll down this page for parents. There's a link to try Jump Math for free. You have to sign up for their free resource center and you can see their resources. There's a place to order and there's a place to get support. Okay. There's also a lot of tips and tricks on here for teaching math and building math confidence. And all the way down here is a place where you can access their resources for homeschoolers. And when you do click on that, it will bring you to their membership page. These are optional extra memberships. They do have a free membership, which has some basic resources to accompany your curriculum, but they also have a lot of digital resources that can accompany your jump math, depending on the level you bought. So they have an Educator Plus, Educator Pro, Educator Premium, and they have all sorts of extra upgraded resources. If you have a student that just needs more, or you as a parent want more, you want the quizzes, you want the tests, you want extra homework pages and pacing guides, resource lists, you want all the extra things, you should come to this page and check it out and see if any of these memberships would be a great supplement to the curriculum for you. This is designed to be a hand in hand experience, parent and child, where you sit down together. The lessons are short, they're scripted, so you know exactly what to say and exactly how to show them the concept. And then you're going to just take a few minutes to teach the lesson. And then, for the most part, your child should be able to do the workbook page on their own. Math is one of those essential skills that every kid needs. And if your child has struggled, I want you to know that there really is hope. I felt so much hope when my daughter overcame her math struggles, and jump math can be that breakthrough for your family with concepts that are broken into small incremental steps. It's a guided approach, and any child can learn math using this method. They may even learn to love it. So, I definitely want to encourage you to check out the links below, check out Jump Math, check out my full review, definitely go check out the sample of their curriculum and see if it would work for your family. And if you have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat below. Thanks for watching. And if you found this helpful, hit the like and subscribe button and share it with a parent who might need some encouragement. See you next time.